Thanks a lot for staying with us on the news. President Muhammadu Buhari has made a strong representation to the United States to consider relocating its Africa Command headquarters from Germany to Africa and indeed closer to the theater of operation in the battle against insecurity. Speaking at a virtual audience with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, the president said this is desirable in view of the growing security challenges in West and Central Africa, Gulf of Guinea, Lake Chad region, and the Sahel. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the reports.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, our relations have been strong for 60 years, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to work with you and your team on building on that foundation and charting a shared vision to guide our strategic partnership for the coming years.
Initiated by the United States, the virtual engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari and the U.S. Secretary of State is aimed at promoting existing bilateral ties between the two countries.
I also hope to discuss how we can build our economies back even better and stronger after the pandemic, growing them and making them more equitable. Investing in protecting the most vulnerable communities in our countries, I think, contributes to our goal of building a lasting security for Americans and for Nigerians.
President Muhammadu Buhari said the security challenges in Nigeria, compounded by the negative pressures in the Sahel, Central and West Africa, as well as the Lake Chad region, remain of great concern to his administration.
The support of important and strategic partners like the United States cannot be overstated, as the consequences of insecurity will affect all nations. Hence, the imperative for cooperation and collaboration of all nations to overcome these challenges.
Nigeria and her security forces, he explained, are resolutely committed to containing the security concerns as well as addressing their root causes, saying, however, that enhanced collaboration in all forms with friends and strategic partners is needed towards achieving greater security for all. He used the opportunity to congratulate the United States for rejoining the World Health Organization and the Paris Agreement on climate change.
This action is a demonstration of the United States' commitment in championing and supporting international organizations with the aim to build a better world for all. In this regard, Nigeria remains resolute in her commitment to supporting global efforts as enshrined on the Paris Agreement on climate change, which seeks to limit global warming and reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
President Buhari used the forum to express appreciation to President Joe Biden for his welcoming and far-reaching decision to repeal the immigration restriction known as the Muslim ban on travel and visas for citizens predominantly from Muslim nations and African countries. Nigeria, he said, attaches great importance to the relations with the United States. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Still from the State House, Governor Babagana Umara Zulum of Borno State has formally briefed President Muhammadu Buhari on the recent violent attacks in parts of the state by insurgents, describing the situation as disturbing. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the governor, who was in the State House, gave a detailed account of the incidents coming after some moments of respite in the security situation. Governor Zulum, who is also chairman of the Northeast Governors Forum, had told President Buhari that following renewed attacks, the traumatized residents of the affected areas fled their communities and called for urgent intervention by the federal government.
In Borno particularly, brigade headquarters were attacked. Many soldiers, men and officers of the Nigerian army were killed. Let me use this opportunity to extend my condolences to the families of the deceased. May God in His infinite wisdom forgive them. And I think it is my own responsibility to come and say the truth to Mr. President. Let him know what is going on in the entire Northeast sub-region. I think there is a need for us to get support for us to succeed in this war against insurgents. It's very pathetic. A few days ago, Damasak was attacked. Hundreds of people started fleeing Damasak. And now, the Gadam, it's almost disaster. Many people have left Gadam.
So to what will you attribute this deteriorating security situation in that state?
I think the military are yet to receive some of the equipment that they have ordered for.
The governor therefore made a case for the federal government to work towards hastening delivery of the equipment ordered for the Nigerian armed forces to enable them confront head-on the criminal element for the desired peace and stability to be restored in the area. Now from the National Assembly, the House of Representatives has adopted an 11-point resolution in which it urged President Muhammadu Buhari to declare a state of emergency on the security sector in order to restore peace across the country. After a 4-hour closed-door session, the House also resolved to invite the service chiefs, national security advisor, heads of paramilitary agencies and NITCOMSAT for a brief on the state of security in the country. Lami Ali reports.
It was a 4-hour wait for journalists as the Speaker kick-started the business of the day with an executive session. Parts of the resolutions adopted by House members include condemning the attacks on security personnel and formations in parts of the country and sympathize with victims. It also sympathized with families and communities that have suffered banditry, terrorism and criminal attacks recently in several states of the country and calls on government to
provide emergency relief to all communities that have been adversely affected by the recent attacks across the country.
The House noted that the number of personnel in the police and military falls short of what is required to effectively secure the country and therefore called for immediate additional recruitment into the armed forces. The House is also to extend an invitation to the service chiefs, the National Security Advisor, heads of paramilitary agencies and NITCOMSAT to brief the House on the security situation in the country. While urging the judiciary to accelerate the prosecution of suspected terrorists, bandits and other criminals awaiting trial, the House stressed the need for financial autonomy to local government areas to enable them to serve the populace.
The House reiterates its commitment to the security and corporate existence of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and will therefore accelerate its engagement with stakeholders at a special security summit that is being organized by the House of Representatives.
The lawmakers pointed the need to protect national assets and resolved to commence an audit of all military assets and arms with the nation's armed forces. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Away from the National Assembly and the FCT, Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni has summoned an emergency security stakeholders meeting in Damaturu, the state capital, to re-strategize for quick response and reassessment of the security situation in communities and the state in general. Yohanasu Suleiman will bring us the reports in our subsequent bulletins. The Federal High Court's Abakaliki, Ebonyi State, has been attacked by unknown gunmen in the early hours of Tuesday. Emmanuel Nwizi reports that although no life was lost, one of the local security guards on duty sustained injuries during the attack. We'll bring that to you and because of this very bulletin. Meanwhile, an attack on Abegana community in Makudi local government area of Benue State has left 7 persons dead and many wounded. This led to the blocking of the highway by youth protesting the attack, but the quick intervention by Governor Samuel Otom calmed the situation, as Charles Saba reports.
This is the Makudi Lafia Road, blocked by youths protesting the attack on Abagana community that hosts the IDP's camp. 12 midnight, leaving 7 persons dead. Governor Samuel Otom, who made an on-the-spot visit to the area, described the attack as barbaric. He lamented the attack and killing of over 70 persons by bandits in various communities in recent times.
All hands will be on deck to address this matter.
Governor Tom called on the federal government to evolve an urgent pragmatic approach at arresting the perpetrators of banditry and other criminal activities before they make the nation ungovernable. From Abuja, Makurdi Local Government Area, Benue State, Charles Abba, NTA News.
The Nigerian army has condemned the indiscriminate sharing of social media with graphic pictures of personnel who died and paid a supreme price and because of protecting Nigerians and Nigeria from its adversaries. A statement by the Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Mohammed Yerima, says the act is not only unpatriotic but insensitive. These unpatriotic acts are often done without considering the families of the departed personnel members who, in some cases, get to know about the unfortunate death in such callous manner before they are even contacted by the military authorities. The Nigerian army considers this unacceptable and will henceforth take legal actions to protect troops who die in action from being ridiculed on social media or any platform. You're watching the news desk at 10 on NTA News 24. We're taking a break. More news in just a moment. Ramadan Kareem, indeed. The former governor of Lagos State and chieftain of the Governing All Progressives Congress, APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has formally reacted to insinuations in some quarters that there is unhealthy relationship between him and President Muhammadu Buhari, describing it as baseless, unfounded, and a figment of their imagination. Chief Tinubu gave a declaration or clarification while speaking to NTA News after an audience with President Buhari. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
This is the first formal engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari and Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu since January last year. The former Lagos State Governor, who was accompanied to the State House by Chief Bisi Akande, met the president behind closed doors where critical national issues were discussed. Speaking to NTA News, Chief Tinubu dismissed claims that there is an unhealthy relationship between him and the president.
Nothing like unhealthy. Who is our doctor? Is it social media that is measuring the relationship? I don't have to disturb him openly on camera. We have so many ways to look at issues. We have nothing like that.
So the relationship with the president is very cordial.
Very, very, very close and cordial, frank and honest.
On the prevailing challenges of security in the country, Chief Tinubu made a case for Nigerians to bury their differences and support the president in his genuine efforts at finding lasting solutions.
There's no president who will want his country in chaos. Have you seen one? There's no one that we want a citizen exposed to banditry and danger. There's no president or leader that will want his nation fractured in tribalism, religious differences, and others. It calls for cooperation, understanding, coming together to move for unity and be able to bring a better Nigeria to the people.
Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu used the opportunity to express absolute confidence in the ability of the governing APC to retain power in 2023.
The chances is as bright as a midnight star. We continue to work for a better Nigeria.
He described as exemplary the clearly stated position of the president that constitutional term limits be respected by political office holders. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Away from the State House, the new Chinese envoy to Nigeria is engaging the Ministry of Police Affairs with a view to strengthening collaboration with China's Public Security Ministry. This is to enhance training equipment and intelligence of the force so as to confront the security challenges facing the nation. Francis Form reports.
This is the new Chinese envoy to Nigeria, visiting the Minister of Police Affairs to enhance cooperation between the two countries in the area of security to effectively tackle these insecurity challenges.
I want to let you know the Chinese side of Beijing and also embassy here. We stand with you in solidarity with you to try to work together to change the current situation, to let people not living in fear.
Police Affairs Minister is taking advantage of the visit to tap from China's expertise to address the security situation.
We look forward to partnering with countries like China to ensure that we have better technology, to ensure that we have better equipment, and to also ensure that our training programs are enhanced. Modern day training programs that will update our police officers and other security officers who are working day and night to curb these criminalities.
Nigeria and the People's Republic of China established diplomatic relations 50 years ago and have had mutually beneficial bilateral relations. Francis from NTA News.
Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo says Nigeria has the ability to overcome the current security challenges confronting the nation, stating that the federal government is now reorganizing the entire security architecture in the country to achieve this. The Vice President stated this when he received on a courtesy visit the traditional ruler of Yakanaje Uke Kingdom in Karo local government area of Nasarawa State, Ahmed Abdullahi Hassan. State House correspondent Gideon Nifade reports.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, while welcoming the traditional ruler and his entourage, agreed that the nation is facing security challenges and explained that government is reorganizing the security architecture for proper policing to overcome the challenge. The Vice President assured that the present challenges will prepare Nigeria for a greater and prosperous future, urging the traditional institution to support the re-engineering process. Vice President Osinbajo expressed satisfaction concerning what the monarch is doing in his kingdom to ensure peaceful coexistence, observed that without going through challenges, it would be difficult for people to appreciate the importance of fairness and justice, the importance of giving people a voice, calling on traditional rulers to leverage the influence they have over communities to effect positive change for the good of the entire society. On his part, Dr. Ahmed Abdullahi Hassan, monarch of Yakanaje Uke Kingdom, said his people are emulating the federal government's efforts at bringing ethnic groups in Nigeria together as one. The paramount ruler appealed to the federal government to integrate the traditional institution in the implementation of some of its intervention schemes for small businesses and the less privileged. He said traditional rulers are closer to the people and understand the issues and needs in the localities, hence the need to be involved in the implementation of the schemes. In the State House, Jude Onifade, NTA News.
And earlier on Tuesday, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo had represented the country at the Sierra Leone 60th Independence Day celebration. The Vice President, who represented President Muhammadu Buhari at the event, was received by Vice President Jode Jallo on arrival to the country before proceeding to join President Julius Maada Bio and several other heads of state and government from Africa and beyond who were also attending the ceremony in Freetown. Both countries have cordial relations right from colonial times, and the relationship has continued and evidenced in the socio-economic, technical and security cooperation over the years. In his anniversary speech, President Julius Maada Bio promised to continue to work with other world leaders towards a better African continent.
To reaffirm my country's commitment to the pursuit and promotion of common African agenda through these and other multilateral institutions, including our leadership of the C10 and other processes. Let me equally assure my fellow citizens, assure your excellencies and the rest of the world that Sierra Leone has taken the challenge and we deliver on the promise at independence in 1961 to be a great nation.
Vice President Osinbajo was accompanied by Foreign Affairs Minister of State Ambassador Zubairu Dada and among other top government officials. A journey to enshrine an unprecedented reform in the Nigerian broadcasting industry known as digital switchover is kickstarting a second phase of its rollout with a view to covering the entire country. This is an update by the Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed to the Senate Committee on Information and National Orientation. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
Discussions here are the instance of the Ministerial Task Force on the digital switchover aimed at accelerating the pace of the project's rollout across the country.
The DSO is about creating jobs for our teeming population, especially the very creative youth population.
The Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed told the senators that the pilot rollout of the project was successfully done in Plateau State, the Federal Capital Territory, Kaduna, Enugu and Osun states, while the second phase will kickstart on this Thursday, April 29th, with Lagos State, followed by Kano and Rivers states.
I've directed GoTV and Star Times to stop self-carriage by the end of June 2021 and migrate to either integrated television service or Pinnacle Communication, which are the approved signal distributors in the country.
The need for more awareness to Nigerians on the project and status of radio transmission were among the issues raised by the senators.
If you can include radio in your program or your activities, I think we'll be glad.
The opportunity for local content to thrive, indigenous producers to be more engaged, and local advertising market to grow have prompted the Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed to appeal for speedy passage of the bill seeking to amend the National Broadcasting Commission Act. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Right, so coming from the National Assembly, senators called on authorities to establish permanent military and police posts in Niger East Senatorial District and other parts of the country plagued by activities of bandits and Boko Haram. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko reports that the Senate also resolved that its leadership meets with President Muhammadu Buhari on the security situation in the country.
The state of Nigeria's security situation resonated on the floor of the Senate for the umpteenth time. In the last 4 months, motions on security challenge in all the geopolitical zones have flooded the legislative chamber, 4 on Niger State alone. This time, the motion by the senator representing Niger East, Sani Musa, shut down all items scheduled for consideration on the order paper. It called for immediate deployment of troops and relief materials from the federal government to the affected areas.
Villages and communities in Shiroro, Rafi, and Munya local government areas of Niger State, and has subjected the affected areas under serious survival threats.
In Niger North, Mariga local government is also in constant attack. We need to start now, because nobody can ever escape it.
We are where we must now bring out all our arsenals.
Some senators recommended massive recruitment into security agencies and engagement of foreign assistance in arresting the situation.
Colombia, Israel, they've gone through this road and they overcome them. So we should not be ashamed to seek support and assistance of such countries to help us.
It costs us nothing to get foreign support. We need to strengthen the manpower requirement of our security agencies.
To have audience with the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, the National Security Advisor, and the Minister of Defense on the regional implications of the developments in Chad.
We need to have supplementary budget to fund not only the recruitment of additional personnel, but also procurement of weapons and platforms.
In the meantime, Senate has confirmed the nomination of Justice Salisu Garba Abdullahi for appointment as Chief Judge of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. It sworn in Frank Ibezim of the All Progressives Congress as the senator representing Imo North Senatorial District of Imo State. He replaces late Senator Benjamin Owajimogu, who died in 2019. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Time for another break. We'll bring you more reports in just a moment.
The best and most efficient way to avoid getting infected is through regular hygienic and sanitary practices, as well as social distancing. As individuals, we remain the greatest weapon to fight this pandemic. By washing our hands regularly with clean water and soap, disinfecting frequently used surfaces and areas, covering with tissue or elbow, and strictly adhering to infection prevention control measures in health facilities, contains this virus.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Visual Impressions on NTA. I am Umar Mohammed in person.